one has two processes of mitosis and meiosis. Who can tell me what mitosis is and what meiosis is?
Mitosis is normal reproduction, and meiosis, I think, is for gametes producing sex cells.
Yeah. Mitosis is what all of you are sitting there doing now. Privately. Not being too public about it. But what is happening within you is that there are cells. Your body's made up of lots of cells with a nucleus, and the nuclear material is diffuse, dispersed. You look down through Leeuwenhoek's microscope, can't see anything. And then from time to time, one of these cells will decide to replicate itself. This is happening in your skin cells and your liver cells and cells all over your body. Cells that are simply replacing themselves because as a process of damage and aging or injury or whatever, replacement is necessary. And what happens is that nuclear, this dispersed, diffuse nuclear material solidifies, takes form and shape. That which was void takes form and shape and becomes perceptible. And you have, I haven't left space for them all, 23 chromosomes that form. And along those chromosomes you have a series of genes. And those are the blueprint that make you into the extraordinary person that you are. Color of your hair, all these things. You know all about that. And those chromosomes split, and all being well, you haven't undergone radiation or anything that's going to cause something catastrophic to happen to these chromosomes that is going to cause a malignancy or something. They replicate perfectly, and you go on producing the same colored hair, texture of skin, etc., etc. That is you. And so those two cells, that cell divides into two, and you have a mitotic division. And basically, there are just four information substances which in different combinations make these genes. You know, just like in digital messages and digital, we watch an incredible film in glorious Technicolor and all the rest of it. And all that information is sent just with a series of ones and zeros. Is that right? Something like that. Extraordinary, you know. These subtle differences of tone and texture and sound and all the rest of it. And all of that has just been sent with a whole lot of... They're just four things here, which in different combinations give all these different pieces of information. When you have meiosis, which is sexual reproduction, you have cells from two different individuals coming together. You have the same process of the chromosomes forming, taking shape and form, but then the two cells unite, and you have a process which is called crossing over, so that you will have two chromosomes which will split and exchange information between them, so that you have your mother's eyes and your father's nose and your mother's lips and your father's muscles and your mother's sex and bad temper and your father's etc., etc. And so you have an exchange of information. Here you have the same damn thing happening again and again and again. Here you have one damn thing after another, depending how many children you have. Are you all with me on that? Okay, you all follow that. In here, this again is a ribbon of information. This is information technology that we're dealing with. You know, this is the stuff of the moment. This is a ribbon of information, just as these chromosomes are ribbons of information. And this ribbon of information is made up, again, of 4 different types of information. And the 4 different types of information that make up this ribbon of information are adult information. I am me, I, you know, the I that we normally refer to as our adult self. Metaphors, epistemological metaphors. Wounded child information. Wounded child information. And environment, the ground, information.
When you say the I, the adult I, is that what we would call, like, in identity, present tense identity?
You're saying, I don't understand.
Okay, so that's the...
That's you talking. That's you talking now. Yeah, that's here and now. That usually plays quite a small part in this ribbon of information. So what we are going to be doing is learning how to go in on that moment of time to distort that time, to enlarge it, so that we can unravel this ribbon of information and then, hopefully, we're going to do some information engineering to change that sequence of things, to have a crossover of information, to engineer that, so that the next time that this S happens here, one has a different R. Yes? Exciting? Challenging. Wow. So it took 3 centuries to go from Leeuwenhoek to David Grove and to discover a psychological microscope that would distort time in a way that would make it possible to discover the animalcules or the ribbon of information that manufactures the response that follows on the stimulus of seeing that spider, of having that person wag their finger at you, whatever it might be that causes this response. Any questions?
You suggest that there's a 300-year gap? Is there anything in between, or was it just...
Oh, yes, sort of some non-entities like Freud and Jung and... No, lots of other things have come in between. But essentially, an awful lot of it has been either exploring that stuff or... and just as prior to the 17th century, medicine had been very largely a question of medicine was essentially descriptive and describing gross symptoms. And an awful lot of therapies, traditional therapies, are descriptive and describing gross symptoms. I feel so depressed. I just don't want to go on living. Life seems so pointless. I know I've got a wonderful husband. I've got beautiful kids, and we've have no financial worries at all. But I just wish I was dead. And I don't know why, you know. And that's all descriptive stuff here. Okay. Yeah, I think you should have another cup of tea and maybe you'll feel better.